Coming up, a peek into the job market for 2026 graduates, what students can expect when entering the workforce.
And a temporary ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran is now in place, but officials warn the next 2 weeks could determine whether it leads to peace or more conflict.
A look into one of the University of Iowa's most decorated sports teams.
Rainy skies and spring temperature swings. April weather continues in Iowa.
All that and more
coming up right now on DITV.
April 8th, I'm Kenna Murtis.
And I'm Hannah Fideli.
And the third member of our team, Julia Rhodes, is live outside to tell us today's weather story. Julia, what can we expect from the unpredictable spring weather?
Yeah, guys, we're seeing some light rain move through the area, but temperatures are staying fairly mild. I'm here live outside the Stanley Art Museum, where it is currently 45 degrees. And as we head into the afternoon, we'll warm up to a high of 73 degrees with on and off light rain and some breezy conditions, with winds reaching up to 24 miles per hour. And tonight, expect a low of around 43 degrees. Thursday will cool down a bit with a high of 61 and a low of 44, and those continued chances of rain. So while temperatures are pretty comfortable, you'll definitely want to keep an umbrella on you. And I'll have more later about those chances of rain, but for now, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Julia. And universities are seeing more graduates enter a cautious job market. University of Iowa students have a lot to be wary of before graduation in May.
DITV's Liz Schultz shows how competition is shaping up for students.
The 2026 job market for incoming graduates is stable but competitive.
Definitely seeing a little bit of an uptick in hiring this spring compared to the fall, but pretty flat overall. Students, especially new recent grads, are going to be expecting employers market.
The Pomerantz Career Center at the University of Iowa says changes to the economy and AI are making companies more cautious about hiring.
Overall, the majority of places are going to be kind of tough to get jobs for industries. We're seeing a 2-to-1 ratio between jobs openings and students or people who are looking to apply.
And for UI students like Emma Eisenhart, that reality hits close to home.
I think I got up to, I want to say like 150 applications, and I had heard back from 3 places, 2 of which were automated rejection emails.
That frustration is part of this year's changing job market. And if you look right behind me, you can definitely see that change. Now, this is the job market for college graduates from 2021 to 2026. Now, there has been a little bit of a change since COVID. In 2023, there was a huge peak, and then it went back down, but heading into this year, it is back up. So that means this year's graduates are going to have a little bit of competition.
With some flexibility and some pre-planning, you can definitely get into the areas you want to be at.
And as May graduation approaches, the Career Center says grads should be ready to work smart, network, and keep pushing for that first job. In Iowa City, Liz Schultz, DITV News.
A debate over 2 of the world's most influential economic systems came to campus as student groups faced off in a discussion on capitalism versus communism.
DITV's Grace Lathrop has the full story.
In a political climate so polarizing, a debate like this seemed unlikely. The Young Americans for Freedom organization and the Revolutionary Communists of America met up at the IMU Ritchie Ballroom to debate the economic climate of America.
We think that if this debate were not to happen, that there would not be a proper discussion of capitalism or communism on this campus.
Both organizations have been preparing for weeks for the big debate, and students filled almost every single seat in the room. Although the 2 groups behind me believe in 2 totally separate ideas, the purpose behind this event goes beyond that. It's bridging the 2 groups together to have a common ground to speak on what they believe in. And speaking of bridging, this debate could not have happened without Bridge, a student organization dedicated to bringing students of different political backgrounds together.
Getting people from all corners of politics, political spectrum, capitalists, communists, as we're doing tonight, getting them in a room and getting them to talk about what they believe in candidly, and then at the end of the night,
still shake hands and be respectful about it.
And both groups maintained that respectful manner throughout the debate. They took turns answering questions presented by Bridge, and students even had the opportunity to submit questions of their own.
I think that statistic from their ad is 44% of people do not get in discourse about politics or anything to that matter, and we see that divide in America now, which is not a good thing.
And that divide has led to 1/3 of people saying they would not be friends with someone who voted for a different political party than them. 10 years ago, that number was at 7%. All organizations involved in this debate have a common goal of lowering that number back down to what it used to be. From the IMU, Grace Lather.
And the person killed in a recent two-vehicle crash south of Onmus Street was identified. Iowa State Patrol identified 35-year-old A.J. McFarland from Mount Vernon as the one killed. The crash was Monday afternoon and was on Highway 151, about 4 miles south of Onmus. The other driver involved in the crash was injured and went to the hospital. The U.S. and Iran have agreed to temporary ceasefire after weeks of escalating conflict, pausing strikes for 2 weeks.
Officials warn the truce is fragile with issues like Iran's nuclear program unresolved. DITV's Liz Schultz joins us live in the newsroom with the latest. Liz?
Yeah, Hannah and Kenna. Now this ceasefire deadline comes just hours before Donald Trump set his 7 p.m. Central Time deadline last night. Now that's been extended for 2 weeks. For now, both parties are halting attacks and the Strait of Hormuz will be reopened, which is a key global oil route. Now this is only a temporary pause. Talks are set to begin in the coming days, and fighting involving Iran-based attacks in other parts of the region is still ongoing. Now officials say that the next 2 weeks will be critical in determining whether or not this is a long-term peace deal or if the conflict escalates once again. And an appeals court is allowing Iowa to enforce a controversial school law. The policy limits how LGBTQ+ topics are taught in elementary schools and restricts some books in classrooms and libraries. Now this decision reverses part of a previous restriction, so the law can take effect for now. State leaders say it will help keep content age appropriate, but opponents argue it censors LGBTQ+ voices and hurts students. Now the legal battle is still far from over, with more updates to come, but we will continue giving you the latest updates there. And the Iowa Senate has passed 2 bills focusing on child safety and parental rights. Now the first bill would protect parents from being accused of abuse if they can't find mental health care for their child, as long as they've made efforts to get help. Now the bill was amended in the Senate and goes back to the House for approval. And another bill would require minors to have written in-person consent before using tanning beds because of the rise of skin cancer risks. Now this bill now heads to Governor Reynolds' desk for the final decision. For now, I'm live in the newsroom. Liz Schultz, DITV News.
Thanks, Liz. And the university is introducing a new artificial intelligence certificate in fall of 2026, aimed at students across all majors. The program is designed to help students understand how AI works, not just in the classroom, but also in their careers. Officials say the certificate is not limited to computer science students, but is instead built for anyone interested in learning about AI and the impacts it will have on the future. Concerns have been expressed about the certificate encouraging AI use, but university staff are adamant that it is much more than that.
It is really about getting competent and understanding what it is so that you can engage with it responsibly or choose not to.
Offer courses in AI ethics, politics, art, and more. The university hopes the certificate will prepare students in all disciplines to navigate a world where AI is becoming increasingly more common.
Researchers at Iowa State are developing an app that helps farmers identify pests. Pest ID is a new app that would allow users to upload photos of insects and to learn how to identify and remove them from the app. It would benefit farmers by saving costs on labor and by identifying pests when they're young, so removal is easier. While the app is available now, researchers are still working to further expand the app to identify diseases that could impact plant life.
And bowling is rolling back into downtown Iowa City. DITV News Director Kayla Smith is live outside of the old Spare Me location at the Chauncey with more. Kayla?
Hannah, Spare Me Bowling was the spot in downtown Iowa City for everything from bowling to pinball. It was a blast of the past in some ways. Now, it did close back in November during the Chauncey foreclosures, but don't spare a tear just yet because bowling is headed back to the same exact spot. Now, Joe Hill, he's the owner of the Burger Hall and the Pedestrian Mall, and he just recently purchased this 16,000 square foot building and plans to reopen it as Barker's Bowling. Now, Hill hopes to revitalize the space, keeping the two-story bowling lanes that Spare Me had before, but also adding diner-inspired foods like burgers and milkshakes. There will also be a full-service bar, a dance floor, and so much more. Now, Hill, he wants this to be an inclusive space for everyone, from college students to families to long-term residents. And now, while there isn't an opening date just yet, construction has begun. Reporting live from downtown Iowa City, Kayla Smith, DITV.
A new bill impacting international hiring is being opposed by University of Iowa researchers. Over 100 University of Iowa researchers have signed a collective statement to President Barb Wilson and the Iowa Board of Regents, opposing a bill prohibiting employee contracts with H-1B visa holders. The bill explicitly would prevent universities from hiring holders who are from countries designated as foreign advisories or a threat to national security. University of Iowa currently has the most employed hired with a total of 69 from countries such as China, Russia, and Iran.
And the intersection of Rundle Street and Center Avenue will be temporarily closed starting April 20th for vehicles. The city plans to rebuild the Rundle Street storm water pump station in addition to construction of an ADA accessible sidewalk curb ramp. The north and east sidewalks of the intersection will remain open for pedestrians through the remainder of the current school year. The construction is predicted to be done by midsummer 2026.
And Hannah, I heard we had a special guest come visit us on campus.
That is right, Kenna. Olympic gold medalist Lori Hernandez made her way to the University of Iowa. I attended her lecture alongside DITV's Morgan Burhans.
Yes, Hannah, it was such an enjoyable and inspiring night hearing Lori chat with students about her own experience with burnout and mental health. We got the chance to take a look behind her journey from professional gymnastics to eventually finding her love and passion for acting. At the age of just 16 years old, Lori Hernandez won 2 Olympic medals at the Rio Olympic Games alongside of the most iconic gymnastics team ever, the Final Five, featuring Simone Biles and Gabby Douglas. Although this seems like an entirely enjoyable experience, it created a long-lasting impact on her life.
It's really easy to just put on those rose-colored glasses and be like, I had the time of my life. I remember the stress of it.
According to the National Library of Medicine, gymnastics is considered one of the toughest sports mentally due to high rate of injuries, anxiety, and poor self-confidence. She expressed her hopes of changing the high and demeaning standards gymnasts are expected to live up to.
You can't really take in the environment. You're not paying attention. You can't laugh. You're not paying attention. All these different things. If things were different, if we could sort of change that and connect with ourselves and with everyone else, how much more fun and how much more connected we would be.
Hernandez attempted to compete in the Tokyo Olympics, but injuries and much needed rest prompted her to retire her gymnastics career.
When I had tried to come back a second time around, there were so many opinions. Oh, she can't do it. Oh, she looks a certain way. Oh, she doesn't really want it. Oh. And I was like, dude, I just want to do gymnastics.
It was in training centers like this one where Hernandez spent her early ages learning how to become an Olympic gymnast.
And she's since transitioned to the stage, like the one in Hansher Auditorium behind me. Lori is performing on Broadway in Anne Juliet, but her artistic endeavors don't stop there.
Since hanging up the leotard, Lori has become a New York Times best-selling author, gone to NYU for her BFA, and gives lectures around the country. And her newest addition to her impressive resume, Anne Juliet on Broadway. Growing up, she didn't have the opportunity to explore her artistic side much. It wasn't until after the 2016 Olympics when the Olympic gymnastics team went to see Hamilton.
But I got to see it and it just changed my life completely.
Another major spark that ignited her performing career was her time on Dancing with the Stars, where she took home the Mirror Ball for season 23.
And they had a Broadway week, and they gave me Chicago, and we did Cell Block Tango, and I remember being so intimidated by this character, and my partner Val, shout out Val, love Val, and so protective of like the art and the integrity and the quality of dance. And he was just like, I know this is really intimidating, but this is a character. How can you empathize enough to like put that on? And I think learning how to do that just sort of opened my eyes. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'm a theater kid now.
Lori continues to inspire young people from all walks of life.
And I remember really liking Lori because she was just so energetic, and I know a lot of the U.S. gymnastics, especially the women's team, they were super, super serious, so she always stood out to me, just her bubbly personality, and that really resonated with me. And then as I got older, I connected with like the mental health struggle, and just her being such an advocate for that really stood out for me, so of course I had to come see her.
Speaking about her experience with performance anxiety, mental health, and burnout, her main message, you are not alone.
But just bear with me, I like to think that we have more in common than you think.
All you need is your support system to believe in you, even when you don't believe in yourself.
That topic's gonna come up.
It was truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience getting able to meet Lori and interview her.
Yes, it was so amazing. She was so funny and kind, just everything you would hope for.
Great story there, guys. But coming up, we've got some updates on the beginning of the transfer portal for college basketball, as well as one of the best stories from this past season. All after the break.
Hi, my name is Dio Gonzalez, and I graduated in May of 2024. During my time at DITV, I helped set up the studio, cameras, and lighting, while also going out with reporters to shoot live shots around campus. Now at my current job, I work at KCCI and here in Des Moines as a newscast director, while my main job is to operate cameras and coordinate anchors around the studios for the morning and noon shows. I also am working on my directing and technical skills. I feel like DITV has really given me the hands-on experience that helped me get to where I am today.
Hello and welcome back to DITV this Wednesday morning. And it was actually pretty nice. I felt like I didn't even need a coat today.
Yeah, it's starting to warm up, but let's first take a look back outside with Julia for the forecast for the week ahead.
Absolutely, guys. Yeah, looking forward, this week is definitely going to feel like your typical Iowa spring with those nice warm temperatures that you mentioned, but also that frequent rain. So taking a look at the week ahead, Friday and Saturday will stay cooler with highs around 60 and upper 50s and more showers in the forecast. By Sunday, we start to warm back up with a high of 74, but the rain will still be around. Monday looks like the warmest day of the week, reaching near 80 degrees, but again with chances for showers and storms. By Tuesday, temperatures cool slightly to the low 70s with, you guessed it, more rain. It looks like April showers is really earning its name this year in Iowa City. So overall, expect those warmer temperatures that we've really been hoping for, but keep in mind that you might need that umbrella because it looks like the rain is here to stay. Back to you guys in the studio.
Well, those warmer temperatures make me excited for some spring sports, Colin.
Absolutely, and hey, the athletic department has been phenomenal through the winter, the fall, and in the spring. And in addition to already 20 Division I NCAA sports, University of Iowa also has a robust club sports team. DITV's Ryan Paris has a story on how one club has been enjoying a dominant run of success.
One of the University of Iowa's most successful athletic teams isn't even an official NCAA sport. The Iowa Club softball team, comprised of and ran by Iowa students, has dominated their conference in recent years. They've won in 3 of the last 4 seasons, with a national runner-up finish in 2023. Their conference also features Iowa State, Nebraska, Kansas, Kansas State, and Wayne State's club teams, who are comparable in skill to lower division and community college softball squads. In some cases, choosing a college can come down to academics or softball, but the club gives its players a chance to get the best of both worlds.
We have some girls that have played at community colleges,
and then transfer in. We have a lot that just chose not to play softball, and then you learn about club, and it's just like an awesome thing to join.
One of the keys to the team's sustained success is the closeness between players, both on and off the field. They only practice twice a week, but when they're not on the field, they're still hanging out, developing chemistry.
It's really nice to know that like they have my back, not just out there on the field, but like in life.
One of the big things that separates club sports is that everything is facilitated and funded by the players, from running practices to scheduling and traveling to games.
My freshman year, we went to the World Series, and so it was a little bit hectic of getting finals done and then immediately turning around and playing a whole tournament, but it was still fun, and like I would say it's worth it.
In addition to the World Series tournament trips, the team has also been able to play invite tournaments in Panama City Beach and Indianapolis.
It's a lower stakes than the real team, but more competitive than, say, an intramural team.
At its core, the club gives its players a chance to continue playing the sport they love at the next level. From the HTRC, Ryan Paris, DITV Sports.
Well, speaking of softball, a heated rivalry matchup is right around the corner for the official Iowa softball team. The Hawkeyes have sunk into a slump courtesy of their West Coast Conference foes as Iowa was swept by both Washington and Oregon. But the Hawks look to break a 6-game losing streak this evening as they'll face the Iowa State Cyclones in the Cy-Hawk series. Both teams are on similar tracks. The Hawkeyes with a record of 21-16 and the Cyclones not far off with a record of 22-15. Hawkeyes and Cyclones split the Cy-Hawk series 1-1 last season. And the Iowa women's basketball team has been hit hard by the transfer portal over the past week, with 5 players announcing their transition into the portal. Last week, Callie Levine, Addie Deal, and Kenise Johnson jumped into the portal, and as of Monday night, Emily Rodriguez and Tegan Mulaney followed suit and entered their names into the portal as well, meaning Iowa currently has 6 players on the 2026-27 roster. Rodriguez doesn't come as a surprise, as she appeared in just 6 games and was away from the team back in December. Mulaney averaged 1.5 points per game, though, and appeared in 15 games. The 6'1 sophomore struggled with injuries for the majority of the season and has entered with a do not contact tag. And the men's basketball season came to a close Monday night as the Big Ten's Michigan Wolverines were crowned national champions. And as of yesterday, the final AP poll was released. And as you can see there, ranking Iowa number 15 in the country is the program's second highest ranking, the finish a season in the 21st century and their best since 2021. And getting to this point with the program was led in big part by one of the best stories in college basketball this season. Let's go through the career of Iowa's star prospect.
Last season ended in complete disarray. The program fired their long-term head coach and lost almost their entire roster. To look for a better future, athletic director Beth Getz hired Ben McCollum, and with him, he brought a kid from Liberty, Missouri.
He's probably, if he's not the best point guard in the country, he's top 2 or 3.
This is the story of Ben Sturtz, and now his story resembles that of the Iowa program, as he helped lead the Hawkeyes from missing the tournament all the way back to the Elite Eight. Sturtz began with 0 Division I offers. Eventually, McCollum saw his potential and offered him to play at D2 Northwest Missouri State. From there, he followed McCollum to Drake and finally to spend his senior season in Iowa City. He started making headlines left and right and being regarded as one of the best transfers and point guards in America, averaging 19.8 points per game this year. He went from unseen to an NBA prospect. He earned an All-South regional team selection in a March Madness run where he played every possible minute with just 3 turnovers to close out a miraculous college career.
I'll just always remember the people around me and the support I always had. This wouldn't have been possible without everyone in my corner and all these teammates that I've had throughout the years, so it's a testament to them.
It's in perfect alignment with what Iowa men's basketball has looked like recently. From missing the tournament to being on the wrong side of the bubble, and then finally turning the program back around, shocking the nation with a regional championship appearance. But most importantly, impacting the fans from day one and bringing them back to Carp.
But they did set a foundation for the University of Iowa. I think they'll look back at it in 10 years, and hopefully we'll be going to Final Fours and winning championships, and he'll sit there and say, man, I did that.
While Sturtz's college and Iowa story ends right here in the Elite Eight, the impact his legacy will have on the program is something that Hawkeye fans will remember for a lifetime. From the Toyota Center here in Houston, Texas, Colin Crithers, DITV Sports.
That was such a great feature, Colin. And while we have some time, let's send it right back out to Julia with the rest of the week ahead.
And as April weather heats up a little more, so do the stars. April is actually known for Aries season, which is a fire sign, and that energy kind of matches what we're seeing outside. We're starting to warm up, seeing more sunshine, and heading towards those higher spring temperatures. Fire signs are all about energy and heat, and as a Leo myself, I can confirm that we love this kind of weather. So expect that gradual warm up throughout the week and that spring fire that's coming. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you for that, Julia. Thank you for joining us live online or listening anytime on KURI 89.7 FM.
We are here live from Iowa City every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 a.m. online and anytime at dailyiowan.com.
For all of us here, we'll see you again Friday morning right here on DITV.